Hey guys, what's up? It's Fan, and I'm back with another video, and this one's not really anything serious. It's just to talk about what I've seen in Dungeon Finder. So, if you guys didn't know, I kind of had this experiment going on with my Demon Hunter, so I'm leveling it up through the Threads of Fate, and I'm actually interested to see as to how many players actually know what they're doing with their class and how many players actually get mad at you for actually trying to ask them to do mechanics. So in the video background, I'm gonna have my video playing of my DH running through Halls of Atonement. It was actually a really good group, and I was quite surprised at how good it was. So with that said, we're gonna go into the video before I continue. So let me see right here. So yeah, basically we were doing Halls of Atonement, and I took this video right after I got really pissed because I was in a group before this, and we did I think it was a necrotic wake, and no one could interrupt anything. So it was super frustrating, and that's what I've experienced every single dungeon finder that I do. That's not a guild run. So if I don't have 2 or 3 people from the guild with me doing that run, it's just everyone's so dumb. I don't know why. I don't know if that's the player base or if that's the community. And what's worse isn't the fact that they don't know how to play. I don't care about that. It's not a big deal. But what frustrates me the most is the fact that when you ask them to interrupt or ask them to play their class right, they get really frustrated, and I get that. Like, you don't want to be told how to play. You don't want to be told what you should be doing, how you should be doing, when you should be doing it. But I mean, if you don't know how to use your interrupts, so just so you guys have an idea, interrupts work like this. Interrupt is on a 15-second cooldown. Each class has a different name for the interrupts. For a Demon Hunter, it's called Disrupt. It's on a 15-second cooldown, and it interrupts almost anything. So if you have threat plates or any add-on that tells you what you can interrupt, or any nameplates add-on, then you most definitely will probably be able to know what you can interrupt and what you can't interrupt. And the thing that frustrates me the most is that stuff that wipes groups normally are interruptible. So in the case of Necrotic Wake, the Shambling Fear from one of the elite mobs in the dungeon fears the entire melee group. If you get feared, you can go into another pack, you pull another pack, and then you just basically wipe because you're overrun with mobs. That's how it goes. But no one seems to know how to interrupt it, and that's what frustrates me. So in my previous group here, I had a Feral Druid, a Boomkin, and a Paladin, and none of them knew how to interrupt. In this group example, for example, they're actually very good. They actually know what to interrupt or what kills you, so they know when to interrupt. And I was recording this video on the thought of that they wouldn't know what to do, and that we would be wiping, because the mobs here are actually very, very painful. So if you guys didn't know, in Halls of Atonement, the Vicious Gargon, they cast a bleed on the tank, which is very painful, and they also enrage. So if you don't have a tranquilizing shot or a soothe from a druid, then it's very painful for the tank to be taking those hits. And the group seemingly knew what to do. They knew what to stand, when to stun, what to interrupt. And there's a mob here, I think it was called the Depraved Collector, that actually casts what you call Collect Sin. It spawns a bunch of ads that is very annoying to deal with. It's not annoying for the tank or the DPS, it's just very painful to deal with for the healer as well. But the thing with this group is what surprised me. This is basically a 1 in 10 group you'll ever find that knows what they're doing and doesn't mess up, or only messes up a bit, or knows how to recover from a mess up, compared to what I've always found in random dungeon finders where everyone kept messing up. And I don't know if it's the general consensus of the community to be bad, or if they're just not caring because it's a dungeon finder. But there are certain instances where you do wipe because of said players, and it's very frustrating to deal with. I personally do dungeon finder because it's chiller than questing. It's a lot faster than questing, to me at least, and I can do it once a day and then stop, and then continue the next day and then stop again. And I don't have to, every time I log in, I'm not gonna be like, what did I do again? Do I have to catch up on this quest, do that quest, catch up on this covenant or that covenant? I can just literally hop in, do a dungeon, finish out my day, get out. And that's the thing that I've noticed that a lot of people do in dungeon finders, that they queue in, expect you to not care about wiping, proceed to wipe, and then get mad at you for asking them to play their class. What's frustrating to me is I simply ask people to interrupt, or I simply ask them to kick, and a lot of them don't. I don't get why it's difficult for them not to do it. It's not hard. Interrupt is on a 15-second cooldown for melee, a minute cooldown for ranged DPS, and 45 seconds for some. And it's not even in the global cooldown. So I don't get why it's so difficult for them to do said mechanic. That's what mainly frustrates me with Dungeon Finder, and it's the same. It goes the same way for LFR. So LFR is the raid version of Dungeon Finder, where you're looking for raid, and people can't seem to know how to interrupt, or do mechanics, or do this or that. And I get it. A lot of the time, these people or these players are casual, and I'm gonna take a quote from a very good streamer that I know, and he's also a content creator on YouTube, which is Preach. He explains that World of Warcraft, the player base of World of Warcraft is like an accordion. On the top end of the spectrum, you have people that are very, very good. Those are the top 1% people. Those are the mythic world first raid guilds. Those are the top end guilds doing mythic dungeons. Those are the people doing really high keys, upwards of 25 keys. Those are the people who know every single mechanic about the game and understand it to a degree where normal people can't. And on the bottom of the spectrum is where people who are bad and they just can't be bothered to learn, or they just can't be bothered to care about getting better. And in the middle is where 90% of the player base is, in the average area, where people can be good, can be bad, but like, I don't get why every single dungeon finder or LFR that I do, it's just a bunch of people that are so bad at the game, particularly bad at interrupting mechanics or stunning mechanics, and the game literally spells it out for you. This guy is casting this, you have to interrupt. So if we skip a bit to the boss right here, you'll be able to see that there is a mechanic on the boss that you actually have to interrupt. If I could actually skip to it. Or not. I guess not. There we go. It actually skipped. And let's see. Skipping. Oh, it's super lag on my system. Let me just skip right here. There we go. So there's actually a mechanic of the boss that you have to interrupt. My thing. Computer. No. What are you doing? What are you doing, computer? Whatever. So that's what frustrates me the most, is that people don't, I don't know if it's with the community or if it's just those people that I encounter, but it's like 90% of the people don't know how to interrupt. People don't know what to do, don't know what to do with their class, with their spec, and they seem to think it's okay to be playing at that level. And if you're fine with that, all well and good. But if I ask you to do a simple job of interrupting people, at least do it. Like, it's not difficult. Interrupt is outside your global cooldown, and you really can't get you really can't be bothered with it. And honestly, if you don't have a nameplate add-on, I don't know, because WoW nameplates, if you haven't seen it or used it, are terrible. So if you don't know what a nameplate is, if you guys see the enemy, the thing above their head is their nameplate, and if you see a yellow bar underneath it, you can interrupt it. If you see a red bar underneath it, you can't interrupt it. And I honestly don't know who doesn't use a nameplate, because it's super important, or at least to me, it's super useful to be able to use that information as to knowing what to do, when to do it, when to interrupt, when to run away, when to do shit like this. And that's what frustrates me, and that's what made me create this video or make this video, was the fact that it's basically me ranting. Not really ranting, but it's me expressing my concern as to why the community feels like they're doing this as if they need to, or it's as if they don't care anymore. Because, like, if you queue up for an RDF, you're there for 10-15 minutes. But if you keep wiping, if you keep dying to stupid stuff, to the mobs, to the mechanics, you're gonna be there upwards 30-45 minutes. And that's not fun for anyone. Regardless if you're trying to speed level, if you're trying to power level, or you're just doing a dungeon for fun. It's not gonna be fun if you keep dying to the same mechanic 3-4 times because people can't seem to do what they need to do. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I apologize for the 12-minute rant, but thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys didn't know, I am streaming on Twitch, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the 12-minute rant. I'm streaming on Twitch and Facebook. You can check it over at twitch.tv/fanthrows or Twitch or fb.gg/fanthrowgames. I'll be streaming again tonight, most probably. Or I stream on not really a fixed schedule, but I like to stream at least 3 or 4 times a week. So if you guys want to check it out, feel free to do so. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Laters.